lucid field within the study of consciousness. It's not that it's a new field. It's a very ancient field, actually. And we have been, in many cultures, there have been studies of how one can enter into it. But because of its kind of very nebulous nature, nebulous in the sense of for an external observer, it's very nebulous. So there have crept in many misconceptions about this lucid awakening. Besides, there also has been a kind of a departure from the authentic, you can say, states of this consciousness. So it's a state of consciousness. Okay. Now, what is the state? Yeah, you can understand what is lucid. When you're talking rambling, kind of garbled, message. You're talking, and then it means that you or yourself are not lucid. That's why your conversation, everything is kind of garbled. When you are lucid, that's a mind also is lucid. Everything else becomes very clear to you. So lucid awareness is nothing but hyper-awareness. This is a very big field and very big kind of subject also, because this Vipassana, the Buddhist Vipassana, it's not actually a Buddhist. People have been, in the early days, there was no distinction between what is called now Buddhism or Hinduism and all that. It was growing within that culture. Buddha had taught Vipassana. What is Vipassana? Vishesh Rupena, very clear, Pasya, to see, clear seeing. That is called Vipassana. And this Vipassana has kind of taken everything and everybody by storm. Awareness. Breathe in, I am aware, I am breathing in. Breathe out, I am aware that I am breathing out, etc., etc. I know the breath. I know the in-breath. I know the out-breath. So it has become very popular because it's very simple. They take hold of the breath as a kind of a support so that you can hold on to that breath like a ridgepole and then try to become aware. Not only become aware, to increase that awareness. Right now, our awareness is, kind of still in many areas, it's just undeveloped. So how to increase, how to make this awareness pure is nothing but Vipassana. Okay? So this is a distinct state of mind, different from waking consciousness and dream consciousness. I'll come down to the other states also. So is it awake? No. Is it dream? No. Then what is that? It's somewhere in between. And yet, we will discuss that hypnagogic and hypnopompic state. There are some states when you are just going down into deep sleep, you enter a state called hypnopompic state, hypnagogic state. Your body is paralyzed. Thoughts float one after another. You don't have the, you can say, strength to even push those thoughts away. Those thoughts float and you slowly kind of get into deep sleep. And then when you're waking up, as you wake up also, you're finding the first thing that is your sense of self is getting crystallized. And there is a kind of uncertainty. Where am I? Oh, okay. Then the sense of self comes in. That's a hypnopompic state. So is lucid awareness any of this waking, dream, and this between states? No. It is yet a distinct state. This lucid dreaming is a very old, very ancient concept, but it was studied scientifically way back in 1914 by a Dutch psychiatrist. And he started this term lucid dreaming. So to understand lucid awareness, I'm going to take you through 2 or 3 other avenues for us to get a kind of conception what exactly it is. So I'm going to look at it first from the lucid dreaming angle. Okay. We are looking at lucid awareness through lucid dreaming. Okay. This is the first stage. So what is lucid dreaming? I think many of you have woken up in the dream and suddenly realized that you're dreaming. How many of you have? I think, yeah, there. Saying almost everybody at one point of their life, they have the awareness that they are dreaming. Yeah. There are some who are more prone to lucid dreaming. Like suppose a child is asleep and is dreaming and then gets frightened and wakes up. And then the mother says, oh, it's okay, it's just a dream. Why are you frightened of? So the next night the child falls asleep and then sees the dream again. But again, that awareness is there. Oh, but that's such a dream. So the dreamer is aware of the dream. So there's something called a dream consciousness, and yet a slightly distinct awareness in the dream consciousness, saying that it's just a dream. I'm dreaming. So this has been a subject of study recently because since we spend 1/3 of our lives in sleeping, wonderful sleep. Why not? And part of that dream state, nighttime, and part of the deep sleep state. So a lot of that period of dreaming can be utilized to become lucid. So you can use that to enhance concentration, to enhance creativity, to enhance focus and all these things. Clarity. It brings clarity to the mind. Because you see, if you can become lucidly aware during deep sleep, during dreams, you can be lucidly aware even in waking state. Right now, the external world and the internal world are so enmeshed. They are not in sync. We try to synchronize. It's never synchronized. And the tremendous energies coming from outside is countered by the tremendous energies inside. Because the body has to survive. You see, it has to know what's happening around. So there is a kind of a clash of 2 streams of energy. If we can become lucidly aware, we can disentangle a lot of negative energy and things that are kind of disturbing, whether internal or external. So this has been now becoming studied because it is shown that you can transform your personality. One becomes fearless. One can get a handle on your subconscious thoughts that ordinarily impel us. You can even re-script your dreams. That's so wonderful. It's not only that, it has been found in PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorders, and it's a kind of a methodology that has been put even to reduce anxiety, stress, and depression. Yes, so, when you're anxious, you are anxious. Can you just step away from the anxiety? If you can train some people, then it's good enough. But people can disentangle themselves from this clash that's going on, whether external or internal. So it's a kind of a mastery over your own awareness. You must be able to step away from what you are engaged in. So this is briefly lucid, you can say, dreams and dynamics. Okay. You know that you're dreaming. That is what it is, the whole thing. And not only that, you can push certain thoughts, bring in some more thoughts in the dream itself. So you're not a complete slave to your subconsciousness. Because in the subconscious mind, what happens, things are very fluid inside. You have no control at all. Like I mentioned in yesterday's class, you have no control. In lucid dreaming, you can get some degree of control, some degree of direction in your life. Now, this lucid awareness is being used in Hatha Yoga nowadays. Now, I don't know in Pittsburgh and all what is there, but in California, yoga is the rage everywhere. You have more yoga centers in California than not only the whole of the US, but even more than India. You have so many yoga centers. Every corner you have this. Everybody is doing yoga. Yeah, and you see all these boys and girls and all that, going for yoga with their yoga mat, with their yoga clothes and all that. So it's become part of a culture. But then it's something like Hatha Yoga. They have made it into hot yoga. And there are some pot yoga. You smoke pot. So even this lucid awareness, they have twisted and turned it into something else. But the general practice is, Hatha Yoga practice is, you lie down in a sleeping position called a Shavasana. Shava is it's a corpse. You just lie down like a corpse without moving. People think, it's very easy. Pretend you're dead. Your body is dead, of course. And be perfectly still. Don't move at all. And slowly, from the toe upwards, visualize each part of the body, flex it and relax it. Okay? Then you come to the ankles, and then you come to the calves, you come to the knees. While at the same time, just lying down still, flexing each part of the body and relaxing it. So the whole body is now relaxed. This is the first thing. Then the second thing they ask you to do is watch your breath. You're still lying down. You watch your breath. You watch your breath slowly. Feel the breath as it goes in, your stomach rises and falls. Not stomach, the diaphragm, of course, rises. Become one with that rhythm. Once you have got into that rhythm, the body should not be moving at all. Just the body will now start feeling heavy, extremely heavy. There's a kind of a torpor that comes over the body. There is, at the same time, because you are aware of your breath, your awareness has shifted from the body to the breath. Okay. And then slowly, as you've got into the rhythm, they ask you to revolve in your mind a small mantra or a small thought. You keep it. So you are now again shifting your awareness from your breath to the thought which is there in your mind. And slowly, you find that your mind is alert, but your body has fallen asleep. It's a wonderful way to take rest. At the same time, you are active, you are awake inside. So try it out. Maybe you'll be able to succeed in that. So the body is exhibiting signs of sleep. Anybody looking at you will say, oh, this guy is asleep. But you inside are not asleep. You are not asleep, you are awake, you are alert. Okay. So this is a kind of discipline in Hatha Yoga. So what does it do? Oh, you can exert tremendous power through this practice over yourself, of course, not over others. So I want to control others. I will not do that. I am exerting a degree of control over myself. So this was a kind of a watered down version of something called the Tibetan dream yoga. In the Tibetan traditions of this Tantra, there are many yoga and Tantra, many streams have gotten together. There is a very distinct practice called Tibetan Buddhism dream yoga. Oh my God. So what's that? It is something like that. You practice something like this. And they say now, if you can become highly lucid during this state, when your body is almost asleep, as it were, it's heavy, you try it out, you can't even move, even a finger. Your breath, which is going on there, now you have become detached from it. And your mind is kind of revolving with a thought or with a mantra. So this is a state which can be used by yogis to deepen the waking lucid consciousness and the dream consciousness. So let me restate it. If you can detach your awareness from your body and your breath, you're saying you can detach it also from your mind. And if you can detach it from your mind also, then what happens is you can be lucidly aware in your waking state as well as in your dream state also. You have stepped beyond the very limitations put on by nature on you. Yeah, this is the kind of a tremendous idea. This idea also was in the concept of, in this Native Americans, you have the dream catcher. You've seen, most of you have seen the dream catcher. Yes. Good. You used anytime? You use for your children, or the children have not ever used it. No, in the front of the cradle, you put it like. That's a kind of a dream catcher, catch a dream. So it's a beautiful concept. The behind it is you can catch your dreams through what? Through your consciousness. Of course, the real meaning is kind of lost. It's more like, okay, it's a talisman. It's a kind of keeps you away from bad dreams or demons and all this, that. But no, it's actually you can catch your dreams through your consciousness. Okay. So this is the dream catcher. This was a very ancient, you can say, philosophy found in the Upanishads also. And we find that in the Upanishads, we find them explaining these various states of deep sleep, dream state, waking state, and all these. And they have taken it to such a level that they have given a metaphysical interpretations of this state of lucid awareness. We'll go into it slowly. One of the concepts of this lucid awareness is this, we call it the Yoga Nidra. It's Yoga Nidra. Oh, yeah. We love to go into yoga. Yeah, we practice. Hey, and Nidra? Oh, yes, right. We love Nidra. Yeah, but there's kind of an oxymoron. Yoga is concentration. The word yoga, however, means samadhi. It's not anything else. Yoga, samadhi. People have given all different names, different interpretations. Yoga is what is samadhi? Samadhi is concentration, deep concentration. Okay, this is for your kind of reference. So yoga is samadhi. Samadhi is concentration. There are two meanings to yoga. One is concentration, ekagrata. And the other meaning is yuj, to yoke, to join, which is generally the word which is applied to this meaning. The word, English word yoke comes from this word yoga. So in this philosophy of, you can say, Yoga Nidra, we find a tremendous kind of, it means, it's the implications are very profound. The idea is this, they first say that this state is natural to everybody. Oh, we have never even known it. In fact, I think most of you must have read it or heard about it the first time. Yoga Nidra. Yoga Nidra. Yeah, so it's like the earliest mention of Yoga Nidra comes in the Mahabharata. It says at the end of the great Mahakalpa, the great cycle, when Mahavishnu sleeps on the ocean of Karana, we say in ocean of milk. It's not, the milk is supposed to be interpreted as causal, because from the milk comes, cheese and ice cream and pastries and all these things. So milk is, these guys in the ancient day, they love milk. So people say, oh, Vishnu is sleeping on the ocean of milk. It's not it's a Karana, you can say Samudra. So when all the energies have quieted down, when everything is absolutely still, Mahavishnu lies on that ocean of milk, sea of milk, in the state of Yoga Nidra. Okay. So this is the first mention of Yoga Nidra. So what is Yoga? Now, if God goes to sleep, then you are having a great problem. Because, Sri Ramakrishna, he asks Latu Maharaj, Does God sleep? And Latu Maharaj was a half Bihari, half Bengali, little here. He's saying, "Ami janta nahi." Ami janta nahi. I don't know. No, God does not sleep. Huh? God does not. No. When all the creatures are sleeping, God looks after them. And he was a simple, boy come from that Chapra, Bihar. Hey, what is this? He is the Lord. He is a Prabhu. He is serving the jivas. How is that? The jivas should serve Ishvara. So, and from that time on, of course, he was scolded by Sri Ramakrishna. Have you come here to sleep and all? He had given up sleeping. So, what I'm trying to get is, as God cannot sleep. If God sleeps, everything else goes down. Finish. Everything is over. He appears as if he's sleeping. He's sleeping on the bed of the Karana, Samudra. But his mind is completely lucidly awake. Saying if God sleeps, there's a destruction. So that's why we say, you say in Vedanta, oh my God, we say, God, what is he doing after he created this world? Now, this is according to Western religion. So what is the God doing after he created? He's taking rest. Oh, really? God is taking rest. Oh, good. 7 days. Where did the days come from? There were no days there in that time. But we take it for granted that this. Like Swamiji also loved to, tell of a kind of a small joke. And he used to laugh every time he told it. So in the South, the preacher is saying, God, he created Adam. What he did was, he took clay and he fashioned the form of a man. And then he takes that form and then sticks it against a fence to dry it. Okay. Because it has to dry. Clay, it's wet clay. No? So one of the audience is saying, hey, just a minute, preacher. Where did that fence come from? So the priest is saying, Tom, don't go on asking such questions. You'll be smashing all theology. So this is the idea. God made man in whatever image, and then he put it against a fence to dry. Who made that fence? So, yeah, don't ask such questions. You'll smash all theology. So, the same way, saying, okay, now God created and he's taking a rest. Don't ask where is he resting on what he's resting. You'll smash all theology. So what we did was, there's no God. He is always, and that's why you'll see all these images of gods, no? They are never with eyes closed. You see Jagannath, big eyes. No? It's not with Jagannath only. Even in Egyptian mythology, you find the eye of Horus, what eye? The Egyptian eye. It is there. It is awake. It never blinks. It means God is always seeing you, watching you. God is never asleep. Okay? So all our gods and goddesses we see, they have got large eyes, open eyes. Okay? So this is the idea. God cannot sleep. So in that Yoga Nidra, in that Mahavishnu is lying down on his bed of causal waters, but he is internally awake. If God does that, then we also must be able to do that. How? Because in Vedanta, this is the first principle, the microcosm is the reflection of the macrocosm. The microcosm and the macrocosm are the same. Oh yes. You want to study the universe? Study yourself, Vedanta says. Oh my God, really? Yeah. And not only that, Swami Vivekananda, in one of his experiences, said, one of my greatest, you can say, doubts have been eradicated. I have seen the whole universe vibrating in an atom. This was his experience at Kakri Ghat in Almora. You know that? So he saw the whole universe in an atom. The microcosm and the macrocosm. And like we say, no, like Bindu me Sindhu. When you can see the whole Sindhu, the ocean, in a drop of water, then your knowledge is complete. Till that time, we are all ignorant. Yeah, it's all there. You just cannot. The moment you see that whole ocean in a drop of water, your knowledge is complete. Till that time, it's not. You keep on going on. Go on and on. Okay. So, if God can do that, even we can do that. Yes. So, the seeds are there in us. There is a kind of a lucidity. So, this is the supreme state of Nidra. You know, like, take for example, we had one incident in Swami Premananda's life. Swami Premananda was meditating in the temple. It was getting late for that bhoga to be taken to for Thakur. And then the pujari, he saw Swami meditating. And probably he was overcome by sleep, and he looked as if he was sleeping. So he wanted to wake him up. He pushed him. And he asked Swami Premananda, Maharaj, are you sleeping? Were you sleeping? Were you sleeping? Oh no, I am awake in the sleep of yoga, Yoga Nidra. I have put sleep to sleep. Okay. I have put sleep to sleep. I am awake in the state of yoga. So this is an experience. It's not just a kind of something, oh, this Satyamayananda has kind of started this kind of, what is this? Lucid awareness. There's another incident in the life of the Buddha. It was after the Buddha is passing away. So one girl, these village girls, they should take their cattle to graze on the mountainsides. And it was a nice, warm day. And the cattle was grazing on the meadows, on the slope. And that little girl fell asleep under the shade of the trees. Have you ever done that? It's a beautiful. I was in the Himalayas for many years. So it was a wonderful feeling. So warm sun, and she fell asleep. And in that sleep, she dreams of Buddha instructing a group of monks. And she became curious. And she also, in the dream, she was listening to the Buddha's discourse. And she was thrilled because she can see the Buddha. Then she asked Buddha, am I dreaming? Am I awake? So Buddha smiles and says, you are dreaming, my child. Whenever you want to wake up, call me. And she woke up from her sleep, from a dream. She looks around, what happened? The dream, at times the dreams are so real, you wonder whether you have actually woken up or what. Very real. When she remembered that Buddha says, you call me and I'll come. Then she prays. She calls the Buddha. So you said, if I call you, you will come. And Buddha appeared. Again, she was confused. Am I sleeping? Am I awake? So Buddha says, you are dreaming. Am I dreaming? She couldn't distinguish between that earlier stage of dream and this waking state, which is also, she thinks, is again like a dream. And Buddha says, who is the dreamer? And this word itself brought a flood of light into her mind. She clearly saw herself as different from the waking and different from the sleep. And she woke up. And when she woke up, she goes to the village, and the village, they look at her transformed. Say, what happened to you? How did you get transformed? So she comes and says, the Buddha woke me up. Say, I had a dream that I was dreaming. And the Buddha came and woke me up. So this is another kind of, there are some people who can lucidly dream, not one dream, two dreams, three dreams. Like suppose I go to sleep, like you'll go to sleep for an hour. And then you will dream about this, you can say, retreat. And then within this dream, you can dream another dream. When there's Zoom meeting, you can dream another Zoom meeting. And yet you can detach yourself and know that this is a dream within a dream. Your awareness has detached itself from it. We tend to dismiss our dreams, but Sri Ramakrishna is very clear. He speaks of Swapna Siddha, people who attain perfection, Siddha, through dreams. He's saying the dreams of gods and goddesses are real dreams, are real. But then we dream so many things. But when you dream of gods and goddesses, it's a real dream. How do you classify this as a real and a dream? How can, again, this oxymoron be there? A dream is a dream. How do you consider it as real? It's considered real because you become awakened in that dream. So when Sri Ramakrishna says, when one sees in dreams the different forms of gods and goddesses, know that these dreams are real. So it has taken this idea of dreams as only kind of a figment of the imagination and just thrown it out. There is something substantial in dream. And what is the substantial? That is that lucid awareness. Okay. So I had spoken about the hypnagogic and hypnopompic states. These are the states between the waking and dream state. When you're going from the waking to the dream, and when you're emerging out from the sleep to this. There is also, now I'm bringing you certain other states because these states are distinct from a waking and dream. The hypnagogic and hypnopompic are different from waking and dream. There's another, the hypnotic state. How many of you have been ever hypnotized? Hypnotized? No. Yeah. Next time I'm going to go there, I'm going to hypnotize you all. What the idea is, that person, we think that person who is hypnotized is completely asleep. No. There's only sleep in the body. The surface mind is kind of asleep, but there is a very sharp focus. You need to be concentrated actually to get into a hypnotic state. So that hypnotic state is induced by the hypnotist by giving a suggestion. Watch this or hear this. And then the mind gets fixed on that and it goes there. But suppose I hypnotize somebody and I tell that person, now go on that window, open that window and jump down from that 10th floor. Immediately the hypnotic state will break. Have you noticed that? That hypnotic state which is induced by the hypnotist, if the hypnotist himself says, go out and jump, that hypnotic state will break. There is some part of consciousness which watches the whole thing. It's called a sentinel awareness. Sentinel means guard, one who guards. Okay? Before you could suggest that that person jump down from that window, down on the pavement, you have made him feel like a chicken, cluck, cluck like a chicken, and that hypnotic subject will make clucking sound like a chicken. Go round and round like a chicken, it will go round and round like a chicken. It will do everything. But the moment you say, go jump down the window, from through the window, its hypnotic state will break. So from this, it was found out, and this is in psychology. This is studied in psychology. There is a sentinel consciousness. Yeah. You've noticed when you're extremely sick, when there's a kind of a high fever, everything seems kind of, disconnected. You feel everything is coming and floating. Your body itself has got very less awareness. That fever has induced your consciousness to kind of break away from this normal, what we are seeing and doing, and feel like as if you're floating. When you hear, suppose the doctor comes and puts the stethoscope and wants to see what's wrong with why there's so much fever, you will feel the doctor's voice coming down from a mile away through a kind of a tube. Everything seems so disconnected, disjointed. What is this? This is that awareness, which is disconnected. Okay. So anyway, so let's go again. Many people say, okay, there is how many of you have seen the movie Inception? Ah, my God. Did you remember what it is? Yeah. The guy goes, they can go into their dreams and they can manipulate others' dreams. Okay. But of course, in yoga, we don't want you to do that. This will get only in Hollywood, which is nearby. We are in Hollywood. The Hollywood sign is there down, right up. So this Inception and all, they get the thing partially right, but when they have to apply it, they get it all wrong. So the guy can go into a dream state and then manipulate others' dreams and make them feel as if they are awake and they are living their lives. Okay. So lucid awareness is nothing but being aware of oneself as distinct from the body and distinct from the mind. So the moment you say lucid awareness, lucid dreaming, lucid waking, it means a lucid mind. Now, is this possible? Those who have been doing meditation will understand. Swamiji speaks about it. There is a power of reflection. What's a reflection? So as you keep on meditating, as your meditation becomes mature, you will feel that you are a kind of an onlooker. Sometimes you can get this, like as if I'm an onlooker of something's happening to me. You notice that? Like you're detached, you're seeing yourself, you're walking, but a part of your mind can see yourself walking. You ever felt like that? Suppose we are all sitting here. We are all sitting down here. Can you feel yourself sitting down here and you are detached from it? That you are an onlooker? Yes. This power is in everybody's minds. We can, as it were, see our own self doing things, even speaking things. So this is the power of reflection. As you keep on meditating, you can really enhance it. You can really detach it. Like you are doing certain things, and yet you will feel you are an onlooker. You are a sakshi. You are a witness. This is the power of. Is it possible? Yes, because the consciousness or awareness, because awareness is always self-awareness. You notice something? When I say awareness, are you aware? It's always self-awareness. And the self-awareness has a very peculiar quality. It can reflect itself. Like when you're looking in the mirror, you can see yourself in the mirror. Consciousness has that quality to reflect itself. Yeah, now this is getting a little more kind of deeper and deeper. No, but it doesn't matter. So just remember that there is a power in everyone that you can detach themselves from this whole thing. Like there's a nice story. It's more like not a story, but it's a kind of an incident. There was a Swami, Ramakrishna. So during his wandering days, he was inspired in his younger days by Swami Vivekananda. And he was a professor of mathematics in the University of Lahore. So in the wandering days, he was walking. He seen a little child trying to catch its shadow. It's early morning and you have a long shadow and the child is trying to catch the shadow. Not children. You're running around, and it cannot catch. And the mother is trying to make it understand, no, you cannot catch your shadow. And the child is insisting on catching that shadow. And the mother is kind of confused what to do, what to make this child understand. The child is crying. And then the moment it looks at the shadow, it runs to catch a shadow, and the shadow also runs. So this Ram Tirath, he watched for some time. Then he called that boy, little child. He said, come here. You want to catch that shadow? Yeah. Okay, let's stand here. So He stood beside a child. See, can you see your shadow? Yes. Can you see my shadow? Yeah. Now you want to catch your shadow? Yes, yes. How do I catch it? He tried to run. Again, Ramtir, he caught that child and pulled. No, you don't need to run behind it. See, you do exactly what I do. Okay. And then Ram Tirath, what he did was, he put his hand on his head like this. And the shadow also did that. And then he said, see, you've caught your shadow. Hey, and he was kind of, you're jubilant. I caught my shadow, I caught my shadow. So you don't need to run after shadows. You catch, yes. If you want to run after consciousness, people are running after consciousness. They're trying to find it in the brain. Where in the brain? Now they're finding the gut is called a second brain. There are even neurons and serotonin is being manufactured there. So, and they're also talking about extended mind. What is this? We thought the mind was only in your skull. That's why they said you're thick-skulled. So it's like, now they are understanding, and there are recent studies, researchers, they're studying that it may not be in the neural system at all. It might be in the biological, the life systems. It is biological processes, not just neurological process. And this has opened a big debate. So these people are running after shadows. Let them. We also let them. Okay, you go around, run. One day somebody will come and say, you don't have to run behind your shadow. Hold your consciousness like this, and there you get the whole thing ready. Okay. So this is what is called lucid awareness. Okay. How do we do that? It is there already. You have to develop it. Learn to become detached from your thought. A lot of problems come because we are so identified with our thoughts and our feelings. We just can't let it go. So let it go. There's a story in the monastic circles. One guru was meditating with his disciple at the side. Then after some time, after the meditation was over, the guru saw a blanket floating down the river. So he tells the disciple, go and get that blanket. Kambal le aao. Lagega. He's saying, we might get to use it because we need a blanket. So now the disciple has to show, now he is so enthusiastic. He's a real chela. He jumps in the stream and starts swimming, and he catches that blanket and tries to pull that blanket. And as he's pulling, the blanket also is pulling him. Actually, what happened, the stream rather, is flowing. And now the guru is saying that this guy is being dragged by that blanket, and the flow of the stream is so rapid, he might die. So he said, give up that blanket. Let go. Leave it. We don't want a blanket. So he said, Guruji, I have let go of the blanket. That blanket is not letting go of me. Actually, that was a bear that was floating downstream. So when this guy goes to catch that bear, the bear catches him and pulling him. So what happens is, we must be able to detach ourselves from some troubling thoughts. Why should we become one with those thoughts? That's the problem with us. And we can learn to detach ourselves, through the practice of this Yoga Nidra and etc., 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 learn to be a kind of a witness. Is it possible? There is lucid awakening, there is lucid dreams. Swami Turiyananda, who lived for many years in the Bay Area, Swami Vivekananda's brother said, he proved that there can be lucid deep sleep also. He used to watch his mind in waking as when it was dreaming, and when it wanted to go to sleep, he could see where the mind is going when it falls asleep. Yes, he watch it. Can you imagine? This is, of course, possible for the highest of yogis. But for us, we must be able to understand that there is a power in us that can detach ourselves from what we are doing and take a witness-like attitude. You know, have you all seen rasgullas? I don't have to ask Sushmita. Yeah. In Belur Math, you know, huge. You know, we were juniors. You know, we are the last row. First, it has to be given to all the seniors, and the seniors are so greedy. These guys will keep on eating everything nicely. By the time that whole bucket of rasgullas come, there is only ras, no gullas. So sometimes we used to see floating now and then some pieces of gullas all broken. And sometimes when you're lucky, we could get one or two. But a whole bucket full of ras and then one or two guys floating about. You know. Actually, our existence is something like this. We are like gullas in the ras of awareness. There's a kind of... So awareness is not some small thing. It's a very vast thing. All your thoughts and feelings and emotions and waking and dream and deep sleep are like those pieces of rasgulla, ras in the gullas in the ras. So there you are. It's very vast. We have not understood the very potential of this awareness. If you can, we will wake up like that girl on the Himalayan hillsides. She woke up. Yeah. Then she, oh my God. So what happens when you wake up? What happens when you're in touch with this awareness? Oh my God. It's a tremendous state. You can not only see your whole life and everything that you have done in a very detached and lucid way, but you can see the whole phenomena of nature. Swamiji says, like, yeah, who enjoys the boxing match more? The guy who sees it or the two boxers? The two boxers are trying to club each other, trying to bash each other. They are bleeding. They are not enjoying that thing. The guy who is watching the whole thing enjoys it. So you will be able to detach yourself, your awareness, and become free. This is freedom. Okay. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So that's there. We all come down to this lucidly aware. Later on, you can come aware of this whole universe. How is it possible? What are you talking about? Yeah, actually, like when I said, Bindu me Sindhu, you will see the ocean in a drop of water. When you can see your own awareness as separate, you will see that this whole universe is like a gulla in the rust of God. Oh yeah. That's what will happen to you. Then your knowledge becomes complete. What will I do with that knowledge? Oh yeah, you can. That is the end of all knowledge. Yeah, it's a tremendous state. You become even greater than the gods. Yeah. All these gods will worship you. Of course, and not speaking about in the metaphorical sense, but in the Upanishad it said that even the gods cannot prevail over such a person because that person has become their very self. One becomes the self of the universe.